Today I'm doing a video review on a rifle I just picked up recently. Kind of a cool buy. This right here is a Chinese Sino-Soviet SKS. Yes, this is an actual true Sino-Soviet SKS for those of you out there who are SKS fans. This particular SKS was unfired. I bought this at Cabela's for $400. Saw the markings on the side, saw that it was not a Norinco Type 56, and I just had to have it. The stock in it was a little beat up. It used to have that shellac that goes throughout that you can literally just chip off with your fingernail. It had some crate wear, which is typical, where the bolt handles would hit the sides of the wood on either side, or vice versa, or some, right in the middle here. Unfortunately, on part of the rifle, right here, the shellac was mostly chipped off, and this thing was covered in old Cosmoline. So you got some Cosmoline staining there. What I just did a teak oil finish over it. No varnish, just going to leave it as teak oil. Came out fairly decent. I mean, I don't want a super shiny finish. I want it to be, just kind of plain Jane matte finish. This is 100% matching numbers on it, with the exception of the bayonet. When I bought this rifle, okay, let me tell you a little story about the rifle. The rifle was bought by a guy back before these were banned from importation. It was imported by, what is it, B West, Tucson, Arizona. This was imported, prior to the ban on the importation, obviously. And a lot of these rifles, when they were imported, were not imported with bayonets. I don't know why. Even before they banned the importation, they banned the bayonet thing, a lot of them just did not have bayonets in them. So when I bought this, it had a Type 56 paratrooper bayonet on it, an SKS paratrooper bayonet. So which came down to about right here. And I was like, weird, because I could tell right away that it was supposed to be a blade bayonet. So obviously what happened here is the guy who owned this before me, I mean, like I said, the gun was unfired, the barrel was full of old Cosmoline, and the whole thing was just, you couldn't even pull the bolt back. The Cosmoline was so caked on there. The guy had bought it, is a safe gun, just had it in the safe for 30 years, and then threw a Norinco paratrooper bayonet on it. That's what I'm guessing. Anyway, though, I'm just going to keep this in stock, because these are kind of desirable people that have the paratroopers that didn't have the bayonet on them. These paratrooper bayonets are kind of hard to find, so I'm just going to keep that until somebody wants it. The barrel on it's immaculate, obviously, being unfired. Haven't shot the gun yet. This is more or less an out-of-the-box review. The stock lock-up's great. The overall fit and finish of the gun is very great. I mean, I don't know, you probably can't see in there, but the bolt face is completely virgin of anything. Like I said, this thing was packed inside and out with Cosmoline. I did my best to get the most of it out of the stock. I steamed it and all that crap, washed it, brushed it with hot water and Dawn soap, and I got most of it out, but geez, where it was really bad right there, that just won't come out. But anyway, yeah, I mean, so $400. This is a true Sino-Soviet. I'm going to go over why it's a Sino-Soviet. A lot of you guys, and I really don't care if anybody sees the serial number, because what are you going to do with the serial number? It's not like these are registered or anything. Hopefully you could see here. I can't tell if this is zoomed in, but you've got a numerical number, a letter, and then 4 numerical numbers. So what that indicates right there is the 4 lettered serial numbers were all made in 1956. This is a 4 numbered serial number. There's a letter or a number and then a letter, and that means something else. I think that maybe has to do with, I don't know, maybe a month. But after the letter is 4 numbers. So that indicates that it's a 4-letter serial number. So this is the 1408th SKS made in China. It's also got a B right next to it and a Cyrillic A, or I don't know if the Cyrillic A is actually an actual A, or whatever the Cyrillic looking A is right next to it. And then it's obviously got the stamped 26 triangle back there. And all the numbers match too. On the top of the bolt here, you got that number, and then the bottom, that number, and where else is there numbers? Everything matches though, I mean, which is nice. If you could find one of these, I'd go ahead and pick one of these up. Like I said, they're pretty rare. You don't see a lot of them out there. You do see a lot of the Type 56s, the 100% Chinese. And an easy way to indicate that is if your rifle has, this isn't the only way, but if your rifle has Chinese characters, 3 Chinese characters stamped on there, after, I think, what is it, after the serial number, I think? Don't quote me on that. I think it's either after or before the serial number. Then you have a Norinco Type 50, or, I'm sorry, there's Norinco's an importer, not a manufacturer. Then you have a Chinese Type 56. Now these Sino-Soviets, like I said, were only made between early 1956 and early 1957. After that, the Soviet partnership with China just kind of dissolved or went away, and the Chinese started doing them on their own. As far as the quality goes, the quality on this rifle is right up there with the Russian Tulas. Right up there. I mean, this is a lot nicer than a couple other Chinese SKSs that I've seen. We've had these, you all know that, you who bought these recently, we had the batch that recently came in. The country was allowed special exemption. It wasn't imported from China, it was imported from some other country that bought a bunch of them from China, and they're all beat to shit. These guns are getting harder and harder to come by, guys. You know, you used to be able to buy one for 150 bucks like 10 years ago. Now 400 bucks. This is an example here of what obviously they didn't know they had at Cabela's. This particular gun here I could probably take and resell for about 600 bucks. 550 to 600. I mean, that doesn't sound like much, but I mean, as far as an SKS goes, it is a more desirable collectible SKS, which is nice. Not a lot of people have these. They're, I don't know, there's a few thousand of them in the country probably. The bayonet on it, like I said, was a, originally they had the paratrooper bayonet on here. It was the guy that bought it before, threw it in a safe for 30 years and let it sit. But I went ahead and found an original blade bayonet for it, a Chinese blade bayonet, and I bought that for 40 bucks. Put that bad boy on there. Yeah, other than that, I mean, great buy. Can't wait to get it out the range, see how accurate it is. Like I said, if you get the opportunity to buy one of these, especially a Sino-Soviet, buy it. Sino-Soviet or the original Russians are the best SKSs, in my opinion, on the market, followed by the Yugo SKSs. But you guys got any comments, questions, feel free to send me a message. Spartan765.